Now, the wind turbines I've been looking at in Rye Park near Yass, now that's 400 megawatts of power, so that's a tiny proportion. That's only a fraction of what you're going to need there. You're going to need many Rye Parks. And the terrain around there, you know, as anybody who's driven up that New England highway will know, you drive up the other side of the Great Dividing Range, you see those magnificent hills where the wind turbines will be. It'll mean a massive intrusion on that area, John, won't it? And all the road works that is needed, the heavy engineering in order to build hundreds of kilometres of new track so that they can get these things up there. Quite apart from the turbine blades themselves, the construction is going to it'll just turn that area into something that it's never been, a heavy industrial area, won't it?
Absolutely. And then you've got the associated transmission lines. Because this area has historically been overcleared, all the lower country's been overcleared, and we've been trying to plant trees, and most of the vegetation is on the higher country, and that's going to be severely compromised.
Now, you've been particularly concerned about the transmission lines. You don't think that the state government has been acting fairly. Tell me about it.
Well, it's an extension of the wind and solar. That there was absolutely no consultation when it was declared a renewable energy zone. Absolutely no consultation as to the building of the transmission lines or the corridors. Absolutely zero. It became a fait accompli. With the transmission lines, we received a notification, and then ENCO, who are rolling it out, consulted with us in their terms. They held drop-in sessions. We went along, but we were told what was happening, just the same as they told us what was happening in terms of installation of wind and solar. And despite many of these meetings, and we've called meetings with them, but they just have not budged. They have not listened. So that brought it all to a head where we've adopted a shut the gate policy.
Yes, now this is interesting. A shut the gate policy. What does that mean?
Well, it basically means that those who are following that policy, those of us who are against it, are not going to allow access to ENCO onto our land.
So you're just not going to negotiate. You're going to say there's going to be no cooperation. You can't come on our land. But how will they react to that? Have they got powers that can force access to your land, possibly compulsory acquisition?
Yes, they have. They have, unfortunately. But we have no option, Nick. We have had no reply whatsoever from Minister Sharp. We've had no give with ENCO. Everything we've been doing now, it's been going on 4 or 5 years. We've just run into a brick wall. So, we want a cumulative impact study, independently run, of New England, which should have been done initially, to see how much renewable energy it could handle and what the resources were and what the effect on agriculture, environment, et cetera, is going to be. But with this tsunami of developers coming in and signing people up, they're just building a case without consequence, with the consequences of the overdevelopment, the massive overdevelopment.